It's time for another Power Ranger Super Megaforce review, and today we're taking a look at the Gold Ranger from Power Ranger Zeo. So, here's a quick look at the packaging just to get it out of the way. Here's a picture of the Gold Ranger, which looks very cool. I love that picture. And then here's Power Ranger Zeo logo with a little hint that this is Saban right here. Thanks for focusing. Gold Ranger's name, Action Hero Series, ages 4 and up, Bandai's logo right here, flipping on the back. And you've got a bio of the Gold Ranger. Obviously, Trey of Triforia. Or, Jason Lee Scott. Because originally, the Gold Ranger was an alien called Trey of Triforia. A pretty badass character that had a short run in Power Rangers Zeo until the final episode, but really what happened was that the Machine Empire took him on physically, and I think his Zord crashed, and he just lost control of his powers, that he was so badly injured that his physical being was completely ruined. He split into 3 Treys, and I remember them. Trey of Wisdom, Trey of Courage, and Trey of Heart. So, he was unable to control the powers of the Gold Ranger until the final episode. But in the meantime, the Rangers had to find a replacement for the Gold Ranger powers. So, at first they were going to try with Billy. And due to events that happened on the final episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, he was unable to adapt to the powers of the Gold Ranger staff. So, that was unfortunate. It would have been cool if Billy were the Gold Ranger, but instead, Tommy went to find another replacement, so it didn't work out for Billy, but in comes the original Mighty Morphin Red Ranger, Jason Lee Scott. And that's when I truly started falling in love with Power Rangers Zeo, because my boy Jason was back, clearly. But some bullshit happened on the final few episodes, and Jason was starting to get weakened by the powers of the Gold Ranger, and it just was killing him. So the Rangers had to find a way to give the powers back to Trey to, reform him back into one being. And that's pretty much what happened in the final episode. The Rangers grew to, their Megazord side, and they would pretty much knocked the crown off of King Mondo, and that's pretty much the end of the series there. It's not much to go by, but hey, what followed after that? Oh, I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, sorry about that, but hey, that was only a minute brief bio there, but you had plenty of time to read this anyway. So let's look at a few other things before we move on. So, Ranger Team Zeo, obviously. Name, Trey, and Jason Lee Scott. Now, this should actually say Trey of Triforia, just because. Battle Gear, Gold Power Staff, Zords, Pyramidas, and, I've got to say, that was actually Zeo Ranger 5's battle wheel right there, the Warrior Wheel. That was Zeo Ranger 5, right in the figure. Here he is, the Gold Ranger in his Action Hero scale, 5 inches, very nice. Overall, I'm very impressed with this figure. Don't have to worry about painting the back of the figure because, he's already been taken care of. I'm not complaining. I don't have to worry about painting this guy. But there is one thing that I do have to say about my figure. I got a lemon. Look at the visor. Look how it is so misaligned with the actual center plate of his helmet. That's unfortunate. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, since you are a pretty good customizer and you're pretty good at painting figures, why don't you just paint over this in black and just paint on the design yourself? Well, I was thinking about that. As a matter of fact, the thought really did cross my mind. However, that being said, if I was to paint this over, I've got nothing to go by. I don't. Underneath the pinstriping here, all this in gold, is absolutely nothing. This is all entirely flat. There is no detail on this helmet minus the mouth and up here with this, I don't know what you would call it, but that's it. Nothing for the visor. So I have nothing to follow on with, and I would probably make this look even worse. I mean, it's not that bad from far away, it benefits that his helmet is completely black minus the panel lining for, his visor. So it really does not bother me that badly, but it is something to mention. It is, unfortunately, a limit. Oh well, go figure, right? No pun intended. But let's take a look real quickly at his weapon, which is the Golden Power Staff. It's pretty good for what it is. It's very nicely detailed. I think something is missing here, though. As a matter of fact, I can already spot it. You know that panel lining where these two sides would actually pop open when the Gold Ranger would press the button down here, which is actually sculpted on? Yeah, that's missing on this side and this side. Oh well. I mean, if it really comes down to it, I could just take an X-Acto knife and go, whoop, slip here, whoop, slip there. There we go. Problem solved. No paint, obviously. It's not a legacy figure, so why bother? Still, though, it's flexible, but it really does hold its shape pretty well. I'll put it back in his hand because, you know, the Gold Ranger is nothing without his Golden Power Staff. And it looks really nice with this figure, and it looks pretty good in scale with this style of a figure. I mean, usually Bandai America figures have big weapons, which is kind of weird. But this actually works. It's nice. I really do like it. Unfortunately, Bandai America had to cheat a little bit, you know, due to cost cutting. They actually did not sculpt on any arm bracelets for the figure. That's unfortunate. But at least, unlike Mighty Morphin Green Ranger right here, they actually did do something. It's not accurate, but it works for what it is. They pretty much did the same thing down here around the kneecaps, you know, the knee guards, whatever you call these things here. But yeah, the detail on here for what is sculpted on is really, really nice. I was worried they were going to pull like a Super Legends thing here where Zeo Ranger 5 had painted on detail on his arm. The shield here is actually flexible, so when it comes to articulation, there's not much hindrance. I mean, if you want to hold it up all the way, you can. See? His arm is up straight. So that's cool. I like the fact that this is a separate piece that could be removable if you tried. Might mess up the figure underneath because it could be glued in place. But at least it's flexible. It is a soft rubber. Ingenious! I love it. So articulation on this guy really is just your plain amount of articulation for these kind of figures. Pretty much everything that I'm showing you right here, though I'm not mentioning it. I don't know why. Just bear with me as I go through all this. And that's really it. I really don't have many cons on this figure. This is pretty much what I expected. And to be perfectly honest, for my 5th time ever owning a Gold Ranger figure, this is not bad. This is actually one of the better figures, and in all honesty, I think this is more superior than the Super Legends. My overall thoughts on this figure is he's well worth the pickup. Unfortunately, the only way to get this figure nowadays is to buy him at online retail or eBay. I got mine off of Toy Wiz, last one in stock. After that, they pretty much threw a big red X across his name. So, yay me. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a sour pick because I got one that's got a misaligned visor, but it's not really that big of a deal, so I'm not going to mention it anymore. So, that's it. Got nothing else to say. Questions or comments, you know what to do. Leave them down below. And this is Sonic Ranger signing out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you whenever you see me.